In the shloka today, which we have in hand, we are supposed to discuss about those people who don't eat. And we have just had a very great feast, 8 to 9 items of prasad. But we were actually fasting. How? Because by taking one morsel of prasad, Vishnu prasad, you get benefit of 1 month's fasting. So we were actually fasting. So we don't have to really, as the shloka exactly will mean in the Hindi, प्राण सुखाने के लिए करते हैं. We'll talk about so we know how to dry up our pranas by not eating. We have to only take prasadam and Vishnu prasad. So we'll try to study this shloka, chapter number 4, Bhagavad Gita, text number 29. Who is the chanter? Okay. Apane juhvati pranam.
अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं
प्राणिपानं तथा परे.
प्राणेपानं तथा परे
प्राणापान गतिरुद्ध्वा.
प्राणापान गतिरुद्ध्वा
प्राणायाम परायणाः.
प्राणायाम परायणः
अपरे नियताहारा.
अपरे नियताहार
प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति.
प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति
अपान जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे.
अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे प्राणं तथा परे
प्राणापान गतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायाम परायणाः.
प्राणापान गतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायाम परायणः
अपरे नियताहारः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति.
अपरे नियताहार प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति
अपान जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे. प्राणापान गतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायाम परायणः. अपरे नियताहारः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति.
अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापान गतिं रुद्ध्वा प्राणायाम परायण अपरे नियताहार प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति.
Very simple question. What is the meaning of apare? Up till now, you must have understood the meaning of apare. Which anya? Others. So anyhow, first let us read the translation and then we go forward. Still others, apare, who are inclined to the process of breath restrained to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming. क्या मतलब इसका? We'll see that. I cannot give any comments here. This is too complicated for me. And the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing in into out and out into in. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself. Outgoing breath itself into itself as a sacrifice. I think our dear devotee has made some mistake. I will have to look at the Veda base. My dear devotee, after having a feast, how can I chastise you? I'm in such a happy mood. So let me just read from the Veda base and rectify it. 4.25. What does translation? It is same thing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing. Acha, okay. They offer the outgoing breath into itself. That means they offer the breath into itself. Oh, it's too complicated. So we'll take back the correction. It's very difficult for me to explain the Sanskrit because Sanskrit can be understood. Apane juhvati pranam. It means apan vayu is offered in the pran vayu. Prane apanam tatha, and the pran vayu is offered in apan vayu. Sorry, what did I say? Apan is offered in pran and pran is offered in apan. I think you understood, is it not? Something Recha Kumbhagya, but this is the Sanskrit. Sanskrit I'm trying to explain. I don't understand the process. Apane juhvati. Juhvati means offer. Yagya. As a yagya, apan is offered into pran. The only thing we're understanding is pran goes out and apan goes in. So his inner breath is offered to the outer breath and the outer going breath is offered to the inner breath. Pranapan gati rudhva. Pran plus apan. Can you see that word? Gati means movement and rudhva means stopping. So that means kumbhak, not kumbhak, purak is called purak. ठीक है? And purak, when you take inside and you stop it, you don't let the air go outside, that is called antah purak. Antrik kumbhak. And when you take the breath outside, that is called rechak. And when you hold the breath outside, it is called bahya kumbhak. This much yoga knowledge I have. Some contaminations of Ashtanga yoga, which I did not practice, but I studied little bit. I used to study in Suratkal, the book of B.K.S. Iyengar. Go to the library and used to read that. Was very much somehow fascinated with that. Little bit, not too much. And IIT also was reading something of that. Is that the Sanskrit clear? We'll discuss the detail later on. The apan is offered in pran. That means ingoing breath is offered in outgoing breath. And prane apan tathapare, and that means others, they offered the outgoing breath into inner breath. Pranapana gati rudhva, and they stopped the movement of prana and apan vayu. Pranayam parayana, that been dedicated to the pranayam. This is one class of people. Actually, not one class, three classes of people you will see. Apare, and there are some people, niyat ahara. Niyat means regulated. Regulated means ahara means eating. So niyat ahara will mean eating very less. Niyat ahara doesn't apply to us in the sense of 9 a.m. I must eat and 5 p.m. I must eat. That is also some kind of niyat ahara, but not in that sense. They are saying they reduce the amount of food. And as per the commentaries, pranan pranish juhvati, it means pran is referring to the senses, and senses are offered to the prans. We will discuss. I am understanding. It is getting a little complicated, but let us go into the commentary and we understand. Gita Bhushan commentary. Others of three types. You see, it is not, if you look at the Sanskrit, it is not that apare is referring to only the last one, and the whole upper part from apane to pranaya parayana is one class. Within this, there are three classifications. As I understand here, one is a person who offers apan into pran, other is offer who pran into apan, and then third one we'll see before, instead of speculating. It's very complicated, so don't expect too much information from me. Some offer the pran which goes up into the apan, which moves down. This means that they make the pran merge with the apan through purak or inhalation. This is called purak. So pran is supposed to go outside, out. So they inhale the pran and make it merge with apan. So this will refer to the people who are offering prane apanam. This is one class of people who do purak. Purak nahi samajh rahe hain? Inhaling. So say, Prabhuji, we are all inhaling. What is about them? Controlled inhaling. That is only what I would say. Others offer the apan into the pran. This means they make the apan merge with the pran through rechak while exhaling. Like this. This is called rechak. Having stopped the movement, that means apan is offered to pran. Take it. You can sleep also in the class. We have no problem. We will not chastise. I mean, nobody is sleeping. I'm saying giving the freedom, because if you don't understand, तो नींद तो कम से कम पूरी ले लेनी चाहिए. Having, you might think कि सब पढ़ क्यों रहे हैं? Because they are Lord's words. And after understanding all these things, definitely none of the devotees are thinking about doing pranayam and all that. It's too difficult. And after hearing the last line's translation, you will definitely not like to opt for it. Definitely not. None of our devotees are so austere. Okay. And there is no need also. Okay. Having stopped the movement of pran and apan, of exhaling and inhaling by kumbhak, by holding the breath, they remain in that state. Is that clear? Prana, what? Prana gati rudhva. What is the shloka? Prana apana gati ruddhva. That means they inhaled and offered a pran into apan through purak, and then they did what is it, antarik kumbhak. That means they do not release the air which they have inhaled. That is called pranapana gati ruddhva. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? पूछूं? क्विज क्वेश्चन है. पूरक किसको कहते हैं? पूरक नहीं समझते, पूर्ति करने वाला. Pran is merged into apan. It's very simple. You see, you are just imagine that apan is inside and you are offering your breath to the inside fire of apan. Now, by doing that exercise, you can relate with it. You are offering something out which is outside and you bring it in and offer to the something which is inside. That is called pran apan juhvati. Offering pran into apan. I'm speaking more of Sanskrit and less of English. Pran apan. Somebody who knows only English will be difficult. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? And when we take in and hold it, that is called antarik kumbhak. Kumbhak means holding. This mentioned that pran apan gati ruddhva. So pran gati apan gati ruddhva. The apan is not allowed to go out. The pran is not allowed to go outside. Pran is offered to apan and not allowed to go outside. That is called antarik kumbhak. The air is held inside. ठीक. And some people are offering apan into pran, but is inside they offer outside. Do the other yagya. Not like that. Actually, they very slowly. Something like that. So then after offering the apan into pran, they hold it outside. That is called bahya kumbhak. And listen, Mara. And when they offer the apan into pran, that is called rechak. कभी तो काम आया योगा की नॉलेज. ठीक है. अरे डिटेल कौन सा करने वाले हैं हम? इज इट नॉट जस्ट थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ लीजिए. कहाँ गया? The movement of pran is exhaling the internal air through the nostrils. Exhaling, that means movement of pran is outside. The movement of pan is inhaling the external air through the nostrils, stopping both exhalation and inhalation is called kumbhak. Now you understand? That's why it's called bahya kumbhak, where exhaled air is stopped outside, and antarik kumbhak, the inhaled air is stopped inside. But in both situations it's called kumbhak, where the movement of pran and apan vayu is stopped. You don't inhale, you don't exhale. Simple. There are two types. One can fill the lungs with air and then hold the breath, or exhale completely and then hold the breath. So if you fill the lungs with air and then hold the breath, it will be called antarik kumbhak. And if you exhale completely and then hold the breath, it will be called bahya kumbhak. Ah, simple. From tomorrow we're going to start this. Others practicing restricting the regular intake of food offer the senses pranan into the pranas. Why the senses are identified with prana? Because they are operated by prana. This means that the senses become no longer capable of grasping sense objects, since they depend on the pranas to function, and the pranas have withered up due to restriction on food. They thus disappear in the pranas like drops of water sprinkled on a hot piece of iron. So you see, this seems to be a little complicated, but it's not actually. The shloka says, pranan praneshu juhvati apare niyatahara pranan praneshu juhvati. That was the shloka. Apare means others. Niyataraha means they regulate the intake of food. Now a person will think, what does it have to do with the senses? You see, through the food we get pranic energy. What is that? Annagat pran. Have you heard that word? That pran is in the grains, especially in Kali Yuga. Have you heard of Hiranyakashipu surviving only on air. You remember when he was doing austerities, all the flesh of his body was eaten away. So how he could survive in those ages? Also, we heard of Dhruv Maharaj. So in that age, people could survive only on air. But now in Kali Yuga, the pran is in grains. If we don't eat or food, if we don't eat food, we will die. We can't survive simply on air. समझ रहे हैं? So now Annamaya Pran Kosh, whatever, Annakata Pran, that means we derive pranic energy from eating. That's simple. Khana khana the ji hai, simple. Now something very interesting. Very interesting. What it has to do with sense control. Senses get energy from pran, and pran get energy from food. So if the food is less, what will be less in our body? Pran. If the pran is less, the energy will be less in the senses. And what we have heard about senses have a capacity to grasp sense objects. Have you ever felt that when we had sometimes extra loose motions or something, our ability to think, our ability to understand and hear also get disrupted? Or am I, everybody has experienced. I personally had experience during this, whatever, Corona or something. My intelligence was completely disrupted. I could not understand Bhagavad Gita verses. My intelligence was disrupted by weakness. And is it not? You must have also felt fever. Mein, everybody has dengue. If you, I'm not praying, but in case you have ever had dengue experience, your intelligence also get disrupted. So some people do like that. They eat very less, and in that way they say that we'll try to control our senses. Now, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes a very funny comment in this. He says, yes, all the other senses, if you don't give food, they become weak and it is easy to control them. But tongue is different. Because tongue, if you don't give food, it becomes more voracious to eat something. So that's why we should take prasadam in niyat quantity, a regulated quantity. Now, what does that mean also? In our context, what you can digest. Not to the extent that we cannot digest. In this connection, there is a funny story of Jayanand Prabhu, who was to work very hard. So somebody told that Prabhupada told all the disciples should eat only 2 chapatis. So he was kind of crying and came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, how can I eat only 2 chapatis? I've heard that you only told. Prabhupada said, when I have told to eat only 2 chapatis? You eat as much as you can digest. Another person only want to eat almonds. You remember that? And Prabhupada said, why are you eating only almonds? He said, I feel sleepy. He said, no matter how much you feel sleepy, you take prasadam. So in this context, our niyat ahara means is we will take prasadam when it is available, and if it is not available, we can take outside food also. Are, Prabhuji, this is a new siksha. Yes, I am the new acharya. I'll give you new siksha. You take prasadam when it is available, and if it is not available, you can eat outside food, no? No, we don't change the system. We take prasadam only, and that is our niyatahara. Okay? So people have different ideas, so they go for this kind of things, and in that way, automatically our senses become controlled. Not only controlled, spiritualized. In this connection, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj made a very nice comment. It was, I think, in 2008 when Maharaj was actually healthy. I had seen him personally. I was sitting in the class. Very nice comment and funny comment. He said that here in this purport, it is mentioned that Brahmaji gave up his material body to get his spiritual body. Something to that effect. So we also change our body in 7 years. So if we take prasadam only for 7 years, or some people say 12 years, then you will actually have a spiritual body. And actually you will see that how bhakti, execution of bhakti is becoming easier and easier simply by taking prasadam. And this is the Shastric injunction that anybody who takes simply Vaishnav, Vishnu Prasad, Vaishnav qualities begin to manifest in him. Why we cannot see the result? Because we eat other things also. But if we keep on taking prasadam, you see how our body responds nicely for that. Body means our whole thinking process will change. Eating has so much to do with your thought process. बहुत ज़्यादा. So I just spoke something on Niyatahara. So you understood these people rather they took very less, and in that way the senses became controlled. But I want to say something heavy also for myself, but which none of us can follow. But I will just tell for the sake of telling. You know Lakahira. So Lakahira had come to. Oh, Indra Mataji is also here. Good to see you, Mataji. She is very sick, but somehow that she's joining. Good. So it's interesting that Lakahira wanted to make Haridas Thakurji fall down. I'm not telling that story. So Haridas Thakurji gave her one instruction that what is that? Nirantar lo Krishna naam kar tulsi sevan achirat pabe tumi Krishna charan. So you constantly chant the holy names and serve Tulsi Devi, and that way you get the lotus feet of Krishna very fast, very soon. So next day she began to chant 3 lakh. That is inconceivable also, which also is not possible for us. But just hearing for our purification. And she used to beg food and eat very less. And in that way, it is mentioned there, her senses become controlled. And very clearly mentioned it. As soon as her senses were controlled, love of God manifested in her body. That is the point I wanted to hit. So the difficulty in our progression of bhakti is that we don't control our senses somewhat. Somewhere we do leak our senses, is it not? That is very difficult. Why is this not difficult? Because certain things we like to do. I don't know. I did not want to be a little bit heavy after having a big feast here, but that's a fact. Just like we are running an AC, but first thing is you switch off the exhaust, is it not? Will you ever do that? Have the exhaust running and let the AC run? Only reason we will get is अरे ठंडा क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? I should have not spoken such heavy things, but that is something to reflect that where my knowledge is getting leaked due to lack of sense control. You remember the example of the field? How the rice field is there. We just have been to farm. You saw the rice field. It reminded me of that. The rice fields are there. The water is being filled, but the water gets leaked through the, how to say, what do you call, no, made we call in Hindi. What do you call it in English? I'm not a dam. It's not a dam. Boundaries, yeah, the mud boundaries. And if there is a leakage, it goes much faster. So that is something to thought about, that to think about. That's why, Shashikant Prabhu, please, you do not help me. What does maid is called in English? Please give me the exact word. What is maid called in English? Pharaoh. No, not Pharaoh. Shashikant Prabhu, please type it out. Something is called. I'm forgetting the name. Anyways, you understood the point. That's amazing. Sense control. This system, Prabhas purport, this system of yoga for controlling this should be the takeaway point from this class. I mean, they are dedicated so much for less eating to control their senses. We don't have to do that, but still we have to control our senses. Sometimes as a devotee, we think we have a license for everything. The system of yoga for controlling the breathing process is called boundary. It's called pranayam, and in the beginning it is practiced in the Hatha Yoga system through different sitting postures. All of these processes are recommended for controlling the senses and for advancement in spiritual realization. Now, why Prabhupada is saying this? Because the reverse is being practiced now. Are you noticing? People are doing so-called Hatha Yoga so that their body becomes stronger for sense enjoyment. I've read it in the text also. No grahastha should do Siddhasan. Siddhasan is only for brahmacharis. It helps in brahmacharya. But in order to make them more powerful for sense gratification, they use Siddhasan. You can details you can find out for Siddhasana. It is only for sannyasis and brahmacharis who don't absolutely do regulated sense gratification. So this is how the whole thing gets topsy turvy. Something which you use only, which has to be used for like increasing a brahmacharya and all that. People don't who don't want to follow brahmacharya in order to increase their and whatever enthusiastic anyhow they are, in order to increase their capacity for sense gratification, they use that yogasan for that. So this is not what yogasan is meant for. Or even if somebody cannot digest because he will do some pranayam or whatever kapalbhati so that he can eat more kachaudis. I mean, kachaudis are offered to Krishna, that makes sense, but are you not understanding this? So many people follow yoga, why? Not for realizing the self. So Prabhupada many times he hammers this point. And if the yoga is done for getting siddhis, then it is self-realization, no? No, that is subtle sense gratification. Then also it is not useful. And if you read in 11th canto, the Lord talks about his own forms. If you meditate on Pradyumna, you'll get this siddhi. If you meditate on Aniruddha, you'll get this siddhi. So you say, what is wrong in meditating on Krishna? Well, good that you are meditating on Krishna, but don't do it for wrong reasons. Lord himself says that this is an impediment in self-realization. So this has to be understood. This practice involves controlling the airs within the body so as to reverse the directions of their passage. The apan air goes downward and the pran air goes up. The prana yogi practices breathing the opposite way until the currents are neutralized into purak. I think this we have all discussed in detail. Detail means to that extent I have. So this is the point I was saying, into purak, equilibrium. Offering the exhaled breath into the inhaled breath is called a rechak. कुछ समझाना नहीं है, बात कर चुका हूँ. When both air currents are completely stopped, one is said to be in Kumbhak Yoga. I am not explaining because I just now explained in detail. By practice of Kumbhak Yoga, one can increase the duration of life for perfection in spiritual realization. So I think you can fill in the blanks. What people are doing the Kumbhak for long life, for sense gratification. Everything is topsy-turvy. The intelligent yogi is interested in attaining perfection in one life without waiting for the next. Okay, just replace yogi with the devotee. How will you read it? The intelligent devotee is interested in attaining perfection in many lives without so that he can wait for the next.
One life.
I'll read it again. The intelligent devotee is interested in attaining perfection in one life without waiting for the next. So sometimes when things are told to others, we laugh. But when it is upon us, then we don't really laugh, is it not? That's why I replace yogi with the devotee, because ultimate yogi is a devotee of Krishna. Why I'm saying this, you understood? Because in our own heart and mind, we may tend to make a compromise. स्वर्ग का राजा तो बन ही सकता हूँ. At least I can become the next Indra. What is the difficulty? अप्सरा तो मिली जाएंगी तो चार. I will definitely get some damsels in heavenly planets. What is the difficulty? And anyhow, we have heard in the commentary that the credits of devotional service are never destroyed, and I can enjoy in Swarga as long as I don't get bored. I have not yet become bored with sense gratification. Is it not? It's not really that bad. I mean, Krishna speaks, and this sadhu also comes and speaks sometimes. We are not convinced fully that sense gratification is actually poisonous. I mean, come on, be cool and be liberal. We are in a liberal age, is it not? We have also heard the statements of Mother Rukmani, even if it takes 100 lifetimes, so let me take 100 lifetimes and attain Krishna. But she says, even if, even if is a very great statement. Why I'm saying this? Because Maya is very interesting. Maya is really fine, super fine Mataji. She says, have I stopped you from surrendering to Krishna? Have I ever told you that you should not surrender to Krishna? No, you have never told. But not now. Not now. You, jaldi kya hai? You must surrender to Krishna. It has been told in Bhagavad Gita. It is the last wish of the Lord. There is no doubt, but not today. Do you agree that Maya says like that? What does it mean? It means some sense gratification. Why not? And you see, you have been doing austerity since morning. Can you imagine? All the people of your age must be enjoying like anything, and you are suffering the pain of waking up early at 3:30 a.m., taking a bath, going for Mangalarti, hearing to this con sadhus. You are a fool, number one. You are not enjoying your life. Maya always preaches. You don't think it only preaches to you, it preaches to me also. Constantly. It is her service to preach like chai, 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 chai. You chahiye, you want sense gratification, chahiye, chahiye, chahiye. People are not saying yes or no as if they think nothing happens in their mind. That if it doesn't happen, that means you're not chanting properly. If you chant properly, it will happen to you. Because now she understood, अरे ये तो निकल जाएगा, मेरे हाथ से निकल जाएगा. The more you chant nicely, the more she will preach loudly. What about this? What about the sense gratification which you really liked, my dear devotees? Remember your old happy days when you don't have to do all this austerity. नहीं आता है आपके मन में? Any sadhaka who's actually chanting Hare Krishna. Like I had such a troubled japa today for few minutes, but then it was so nice. I had good kirtan later on. I was given the opportunity to do kirtan. Everything that vanishes. But I'm seeing the Maya is not releasing. One sannyasi was saying this mental concoction factory. You understand? Mental concoction factory. You understand? The mind is constantly concocting this idea, this sense gratification. Keeps on coming, keeps on coming. You have to lick really bad like Sachin Tendulkar, you know. Dish. No, I want Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That's why I was sharing with devotees yesterday. I'm fearful that whether my students will persevere in Krishna consciousness because we tend to succumb on this point. Maybe I cannot go back. Maybe I should have a compromise with Maya. So anyhow, I spoke all those things. That at least we should try to attain perfection in one life, even if we cannot. Efforts ऐसे नहीं होने चाहिए कि हमारे अब 100 जन्म के बाद मिले. You know that when we study for 99% marks, we get 80%. Is it not? And when we say pass होने के लिए पढ़ लेते हैं, somehow they let us pass, then it goes slides further like that. So it is possible, chanting 16 rounds, for following 4 regulative principles, we can go back to Godhead. Not difficult. That should be a determination. So I just, why also intelligent? Because next birth, however, in whichever family we are not going to be born from trees. So that is a very strong meditation, is it not? How we will be born, even as a human being, is quite painful experience. समझ रहे मेरी बात? From our side, our effort should be very heavy, as much as possible. If Krishna wants us to take birth, then what you can do? भगवान से तो कुछ झगड़ा कर नहीं सकते, कोर्ट केस तो भगवान पे करेंगे नहीं. What we can do? Up to him. But devotee does not want to take birth. Makes sense to you? Okay. Anyhow, we just picked up on the point of trying to go back home, back to God in this life. It is possible. We come back to our shloka. For by practicing Kumbhak Yoga, the yogis increase the duration of life by many years. A Krishna conscious person, however, being always situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, automatically becomes the controller of the senses. His senses, being always engaged in the service of Krishna, have no chance of becoming otherwise engaged. Have you not experienced just now? We had a full morning program, then prasadam, and then now class, and we have some other service. It is so easy to control senses in that way. And we just can't imagine the benefit which accrue to a person by engaging the senses in Krishna service. You please refer to 8.28, 8th chapter, last shloka. Vedeshu yajneshu tapahastu chaiva daneshu yat punna phallam pradishtam. This is a homework for all of you. I'll ask tomorrow in the quiz. 8.28. Last, if the number is not wrong, it is the last shloka of 8th chapter. Whatever benefit you get by studying the Vedas, by doing yagyas, by doing tapasyas, anything, by giving charity, a devotee simply gets all that by engaging his senses in Krishna's service, plus he goes back to Godhead. Is that 8.28? Yes. Very nice shloka. You should read that. No, Prabhuji, we are born in Kalu Malu camp. I have not born, but at least we have joined the Kalu Malu camp. So unless you reach 8th chapter and you actually make us read, we are not going to read. I know my students are also like that. But if possible, you please read it today and we will ask you tomorrow. ठीक है? इतना तो पढ़ सकते हैं, ज्यादा तो नहीं है, ठीक है। कोई पढ़ के आया 3-25-25? ज्यादा तो नहीं है, कोई पढ़ा है? एक श्लोक पढ़ नहीं सकते, बताइए। एनीबडी रीड इन द जूम ऑडियंस? कौन सा श्लोक प्रभु जी, क्या बोला था आपने? Oh, everybody is hiding his face. 3-25. Oh, Sadashiv Prabhu studied. Okay, okay. So we wanted to go back to Godhead in this life. Fine, fine. Yes, yes. You are sincere devotees. You will go also. Don't worry too much. So at the end of life, actually, for a devotee is so powerful, is it not? If you just chant Krishna once and don't criticize others, Mahaprabhu himself will deliver a devotee. Just remain little humble and keep the mouth shut for nonsense. बहुत पावरफुल है। जस्ट कीप द माउथ शट फॉर नॉनसेंस। बट द प्रॉब्लम इज सो डिफिकल्ट टू डू दैट। आई डोंट वांट टू क्रिटिसाइज, बट एंड आई एम आल्सो नॉट क्रिटिसाइजिंग, एंड बट such an very strong potency. Mahaprabhu, कितना simple होता है. You chant Krishna once and don't criticize others, and Mahaprabhu himself will deliver that person. No other criterion. Think about it. So at the end of life, he is naturally transferred to the transcendental plane of Lord Krishna. Consequently, he makes no attempt to increase his longevity. That's quite interesting. Actually, if a person, just for example, it's very simple. If suppose I learn today I am Krishna's servant, and you simply engage in Krishna's service, are you liberated or not? What is the answer? Yes. So at the time of death, you will become liberated. So again, it brings to my mind a funny question. One devotee asked that what was so special about Narad Ji? So I kind of picked up on that question. I said, Narad Ji did not do LLM after meeting the Bhakti Vedantas. The devotee is doing LLM. I said, he did not do LLM. What is that, legislator, whatever? He did not do material studies after meeting the Bhakti Vedantas. So all of us have this. Nothing against that devotee particularly, but I'm just saying all of us have some, what is that say? That word is not coming. Some of our inclinations for distractive maneuvers. समझ में आया कुछ? नहीं समझ में आया? Distractive maneuvers which will distract us from Krishna. I have nothing against material education like that, but we see in the case of Narad Ji, he did not go for any other thing. He simply has fixed his mind on Krishna, and you see, now he's eternally liberated soul. I'm repeating again and again. In classes, I speak differently, and personally, I differently counsel, seeing the condition of the soul. But the truth has to be, we all are actually having an inclination for distractive maneuvers. मेरी English समझ में आ रही है? We don't only want Krishna. If you only want Krishna, we'll get Krishna. We have to be honest about it, is it not? We want something. If you are actually honest about ourselves, then when we are rendering service, we will check, what is that the only thing which I want is the love of God? And if you are genuinely honest, it will be difficult to say yes. Burijan Prabhu says that only for Krishna's pleasure. There can be major awareness that it is for Krishna's pleasure. Something we want. Prabhupada says this is our disease, that for some spiritual service we want a material reward. I should not have been so heavy, but this is how we can actually be happy, not expecting material results. My Guru Maharaj said very, आज heavy बातें आ रही हैं, but अब आ रही तो बोल दे रहा हूँ. Maharaj said that it's not how many number of rounds you are chanting, but how much selfless you are, that shows how much advanced you are. In rendering our service, I am again not saying that you should not chant Hare Krishna or like that. We can chant Hare Krishna as much a number of rounds, not a problem. But how much, to what degree we are selfless, to what degree we don't want some material reward in return for our service. Or in simple words, to what degree we are not selling our service. These are all heavy statements. I understand, and I kind of ask forgiveness for this, but these things sometimes boil over in my heart. That am I selling my service, or am I actually genuinely serving? This has to be this. क्या बोलेंगे उसको? Check has to be there in the heart. Anyhow, I should. Okay, let us move back to a simple tone. A devotee does not want to live long in this material world. He longs to serve Krishna. What is that shloka from Bhagavatam? Na jivanti tarvaha kim na jivanti. Do the trees don't live long? So they don't have that inclination. You see, Khatwang Maharaj, he fixed his mind on Krishna, and same thing is told in Bhagavatam in that section. A moment of Krishna consciousness is worth than living years together in this world. So, yeah, like that. He is at once raised to the platform of liberation as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord transcends the mode of material nature and is immediately elevated to the spiritual platform. Unalloyed devotional service, I think you understand. There is no mixture of or alloyment of karma and gyan and other processes. That means karma, gyan and yoga. There is no mixture of karma. He does not take shelter of karma kand. He does not take shelter of gyan kand or other processes. Also, there is no mixture of laziness. Jnana, karma, adi. So adi refers to laziness. Laziness may also cover our bhakti. Is it not? नहीं उठ पाए मंगल आरती के लिए. We're not able to wake up for मंगल आरती or not chant our rounds like that. So that may also cover our bhakti or not. Many times it covers our bhakti. We want to sleep for 1 hour, we sleep for 3 hours or whatever. It happens for many devotees. It happens like that. So anyhow, so his goal of life is pure bhakti and his means is pure bhakti, or I would say bhakti. I'm repeating it just for the sake of solidarity. Your target is love of God, and the means by which you're going to get that love of God is bhakti. ये है unalloyed devotional service. You don't depend on any other process. You don't target any other goal. This is called unalloyed devotional service. ठीक है? I think this every devotee understands. So a Krishna conscious person begins from the transcendental stage and is constantly in that consciousness. This is a very, very nice statement by Srila Prabhupada. You see, we may think that we have to practice Krishna consciousness for a long time and then we become transcendental. But what did Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here? Just in the beginning, if a person accepts, I am an eternal servant of Lord and my only duty is to serve Him, from that point onwards itself, we are transcendental. But we know that since it is not that easy for most of people to immediately accept that, so we have to go through the process also. A more subtle point, we know that Shraddha is the beginning of Bhakti. Fine, but exactly Shraddha means Shuddha Bhakti Shraddha. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? And this may be lacking in many people. They may be chanting Hare Krishna, which is very good, but just so that उनका दिमाग ठीक रहे. Their mind can remain peaceful. Have you met people like that? Yes. Mostly new people, when they chant Hare Krishna, they're like that. The mind can remain peaceful. Or some may desire liberation. Or some may desire Swarga. But that is not pure bhakti. So if a devotee may be filled with contamination, that's a different thing. But when he's doing bhakti, his aspiration is to attain Krishna. Even so, that consciousness makes a person transcendental to material conditioning. Is that getting clear? And therefore that we have to hear repeatedly, because then when we are rendering devotional service which is appreciated by others, the tendency to do the service for appreciation will be checked by us. कुछ समझ रहे हैं मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? नहीं समझ में आ रहा? I can give this class only for the sake of impressing people. that I know. Is it possible? It is quite possible. It is quite not, I will use काफी संभावना है, क्या यही बोलेंगे ना, quite possible, is quite probable that I just speak so that people will think I know a lot. When you start giving lectures, you will understand how this tendency can creep in. समझ रहे हैं? And the idea of pleasing Krishna is forgotten. If you lead kirtans, then you understand how this idea can come to impress the audience. And actually, if you are a proper devotee, you will shun this thought also when it comes. Why this thought is coming? To please the audience. Why? When will that day come when I'll only please Krishna? Makes sense to you? But don't be hopeless. Even if those things are coming, you paint your wall. Prabhuji, paint your wall. What does it mean? You see, like our wall has some color, but you paint it with a external cover color so that the inner color is hidden. नहीं समझ में आया? So our consciously we have to be, how to say, aware that I am doing it for Krishna's pleasure, even though the other desires may be coming and hitting our heart. Am I able to communicate what I'm trying to speak? It's a very nice point. Adi Purush Prabhu explained this. Yes, yes. I may have a desire that somebody will say, Prabhuji, wow, what a class. But still, in my heart, I should pray and be conscious that Krishna be pleased with. That we can do, that much awareness we can do. So this is very nice. Therefore, there is no falling down, and ultimately he enters into the abode of the Lord without delay. The practice of reduce, so Prabhupada hits on it. So the devotee does not have to do all this kumbhak, purak, rechak. Rather, elsewhere Prabhupada says in Arati, if you jump and you take deep breath, that is your kumbhak, rechak, purak. That is your pranayam. In third canto, he says that. The practice of reduced eating is automatically done when one eats. What is that word? I cannot, actually, I don't know how to speak it out. Only लिखा है क्या? Only बोलते हैं इसको? Means केवल. Only Krishna Prasadam, or food which is offered first to the Lord. Sometimes people say this before they ask this question. I'll ask this question. Prabhuji, what if you have to go to a marriage where they don't offer the food? Don't go to the marriage. Unless it is your marriage. Like some people come for Mangal Arati when they have to sing. So go to a marriage only when you are supposed to be married. And I think you only going to marry once, if you are unfortunate. Normally people only marry once. So you can go to your marriage. Then people say, Prabhuji, अगर हम दूसरों के यहाँ नहीं जाएंगे तो हमारे कौन आएगा? तो नहीं आए, क्या दिक्कत? If they don't come, then your marriage will be less costly also, is it not? And yeah, that's we are all for joking, but not joking. Don't eat outside, even if you have to go to parties and all that. Actually, devotees should not go. What will happen? कुछ भी नहीं होगा. I did not go to my own single sister's marriage. She still loves me. Can you imagine that? One sister did not go to her marriage. I know it is not possible for everyone to go, and one should not do that also. But people will love you for what you are. Still, she loves me very much. So anyhow, that was side point. What I'm trying to say, no, not side point, not side point. Don't eat outside. This we don't compromise. Don't eat outside. Adbhut Krishna, don't eat outside. America, more dangerous. More dangerous. What they mix in it, who don't know. This is, I'll hold and take this point. Atah Sri Krishna Madi, na bhaved grahyam indriyai sevon mukhe jivada swamev spurta. You heard this? Srimati Mataji, she's very senior Mataji, very senior Mataji. Her lecture was heard by brahmacharis in Mayapur. She's very powerful Mataji. She every day was and so many rounds and very exalted devotee. She has given a small seminar, the doorway to love of God. Very nice seminar. She was giving to some devotees there. Very nice seminar. And say the doorway to love of God is tongue. Atah Sri Krishna Madi. So the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Krishna cannot be understood by your normal senses. But when the tongue is engaged in Krishna's service by chanting Hare Krishna and taking prasadam, then Krishna reveals. So we tend to underestimate this prasadam. So make your life, plan your life in a way where you don't have to eat outside. And suppose you go to some relative and say, I don't eat anything except prasadam. Will he shoot you? गोली मारते का? Maximum is say, okay, you don't come to my home. You will not go to home. Anyhow, we don't have time. Morning program, evening program. We don't have a time to go to any place. Anyhow, one time, one person was asking Maharaji, Radha Goswami Maharaji, we are going to some relative and to preach, and we have to eat their food. So how what to do? Then Maharaj says, you are going to preach or you are going to get preached. आप खुद ही preached हो जा रहे हैं. So we should never compromise on food. Never. The Brahmanas were very, very conscious. They won't compromise on food. You get their sin. Okay. Reducing the eating process is very helpful in the matter of sense control. And without sense control, there is no possibility of getting out of the material entanglement. Again, I repeat this point, the senses are like enemies. So they get strength from food. But what we discuss, if we don't give food, the tongue becomes voracious. Other senses become very weak. So it is easier to control them. But to control the tongue, what is it? Tar madhe jivati lobho maya sudurmati. It doesn't want to have any restraint, so we give them prasad. Just like right now, all the devotees are looking fresh faced and nice and satisfied. Sadhus, Atma Ramahascha Munayo. Why? Because we had sufficient prasadam, is it not? So, like that. So, once you have sufficient prasadam, you will not think or eat outside. At least our devotees must not be eating in restaurants, at least. So, anyhow, these are the things which we discussed in this shloka. Any questions? ISKCON way is my way of sense gratification. No, ISKCON is not for your sense gratification. ISKCON is for your sense engagement in Krishna's service. Give up that mentality of sense enjoyment. You won't really be happy as a devotee if we are trying to enjoy our senses, although you can join in that way. Maya offers us sense gratification as if she loves us so much genuinely, but actually she tries to draw us away from Krishna. Yes, and she says also, sense gratification is very cheap. Why don't you have it? What is the name of the Mataji from Mayapur? Her name is Srimati Mataji. She's from Australia, I believe, or America. I don't know. But she's staying in Vrindavan. Very senior devotee. She doesn't give classes like that. But whatever classes she has given is very powerful. You can, she told me many things about chanting the holy names and very nice devotee. Very extremely nice. Can we take juice from outside? Yes, but before bringing it inside in your body, you should offer it outside to Krishna. And then you take it inside. Okay? Okay. No more questions? Okay. So now is my chance to अरे इतना आसान बोलेंगे हाँ तो इतना ही आसान this is obviously this is not the question. Hold on just a second. Now I'll remove the spotlight and some new devotees. Why the okay. Yes. So what is the okay? Let me ask you some simple questions. I think I should not ask that apan and pran. Those things are very difficult to answer. Please explain what is the meaning of rechak, what is the meaning of purak, आंतरिक कुंभक and बाह्य कुंभक. अरे सबने वीडियो ऑफ कर दिए. Only everybody is out of the game. Sadashiv Prabhu. Okay, go ahead. Explain the meaning of rechak.
Prabhuji, rechak is when apan is offered to pran.
Hey Bhagwan, I'm asking you. I purposely avoided the apan and pran thing. I'm asking you simple answer.
Which is when inside air is offered outside, it is called rechak. Sorry, bahari kumbhak.
Rechak is bahari kumbhak. Acha, ठीक.
Yes. And when the air which is outside that is taken inside and we hold it, then it is called antrik kumbhak.
I've asked you rechak. First explain rechak.
Rechak, Prabhuji, when the inside air is offered outside.
Okay, when the inside air is just exhaled, simple.
Exhaled outside. Yes.
It's called rechak.
Rechak.
What is purak?
Purak. Yes. When the purak, which is
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं.
When we inhale the
take the
outside air inside, then it is called purak. And when
Purak.
we hold it, when we
Okay.
hold it,
What? No, we don't have to hold it.
no, we have to hold it for antrik kumbhak.
आपको कुंभक पूछ रहा हूँ, खाली पूछ रहा हूँ पूरक क्या
No, sir.
होता है? What is
Yes,
पूरक?
purak is when we inhaling from
Inhale, that is
outside
called
air inside. Yes, purak.
Obviously, you can only inhale outside air from it. You can't inhale inside air. Fine. We have to joke also. What is Antrik Kumbhak, Revati Mataji? No? Don't know? Could not? No. Okay. Shashikant Prabhu? Chalo. Finally, we have our team of scholars here. Please answer. Speak in the mic. Speak in the mic. Give it fast.
Inhaling and stopping inside.
Antrik Kumbhak, inhaling, that means doing rechak and stopping it. Hold. What is Bahya Kumbhak?
Exhaling and holding out air outside.
Okay, this is done. And this Kumbhak is actually referring to Pranapana Kati Rudha. Okay, simple question. Why this Kumbhak is practiced? What did Srila Prabhupada told? Okay, Shashikant Prabhu is raising his hand. Yes, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself. First, unmute yourself.
Yes, unmuted. To increase the longevity of the life.
Okay, to increase the longevity of life so that he can gratify his senses very nicely.
Yes.
Okay, Ayushi Mataji, she is a new participant in Gita class. So she is saying to increase the duration of life for spiritual realization. Fine. Okay, what was the purpose of this? I will ask the Sanskrit. Pranan pranish juhvati. Explain this line. Apare niyatahara pranan pranish juhvati. This is a difficult one, but I want you to answer this because it has some relationship with us. Apare means others. Niyatahara means control the food. And pranan pranish juhvati means
Controlled food.
yes, Prabhu.
Controlled food. And yes,
Control. No, not control. Control
Pra-
eating, yes, but for what purpose? Yes, Revati Mataji.
Prabhuji, they restrict the regular intake of food and offer the senses in the pranas. This means that the senses no longer become capable of grasping the sense objects. They become weaker. Since our senses depend on pranas to function. Senses depend on pranas and pran depends on food.
Food. Very good. Very nice. In my mind, I'm offering you nice Mahaprasad. You give a nice answer. Accept it. I don't know whether it will reach your prana or not. Good. It was difficult. This was one of the difficult ones to understand because prana we don't identify immediately with the senses. That's why we have to hear the Acharya's commentary. Okay. What? Depriving the senses of their food by reducing the intake of food. Yes. Mataji has some strength still left. Indra Mataji. She's not able to stand up also. Good. You're fighting while lying down, it seems. Okay. And what else? We have discussed what does Srila Prabhupada talk about Niyatahara? How were we supposed to control our eating? Very simple, but please help me. You have to give the mic to Prabhuji. By taking only Krishna Prasadam. And what was the comment of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur which we discussed in regard to taking Prasadam? This is a very, very serious matter. If you can reply, I will be very happy. This is not in the purport, I mentioned separately. Did you catch that point of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur about prasadam and control of the senses? Yes. Yes, speak in the mic.
Other senses can be controlled by the limited food or something.
Yes.
But the tongue cannot be controlled. It becomes more like voracious.
Voracious to eat more things. Yes.
And then by supplying only prasadam and Krishna Katha, like that, we can control this tongue also.
Yes. Doorway to love of God. What do we talk about that? Hey, ruk jao. Aur log to. Achha, you don't understand English? Akshat? English. What do we talk about doorway of love of God? Did you say? Did you hear something? Speak in the mic and switch it on. Yeah.
Tongue is the doorway to God.
Doorway to love of God. Okay. And
So we
something
should-
else you heard about it? Can you
we
explain?
should,
Tongue, chanting, and prasadam. Yeah, but how that is doorway to God?
you explained Srimati Mataji was this the verse you could use slow.
Atah Sri
Atah Sri
Krishna.
Krishna Namadi na bhavet grayam indriya. Other senses cannot be like engaged, but the tongue can be engaged so nicely chanting.
Wow, amazing, amazing purport and commentary. Change the whole meaning. Atah Sri Krishna Namati. That's why it's good that you speak it out. That understand what you understood. No problem. You are new devotee. Atah Sri Krishna Namati na bhavet grahya indriya means that the Krishna's name, form, quality, and pastimes cannot be perceived by the senses, material senses. No problem. They can be. Sevon mukhe jivadao. Beginning with the tongue, when we engage our senses in Krishna's service, Swayame was Puratadha. He reveals, just like sometimes we have this revelation of taste in chanting. What did you do? Chanting. So when you chanted, Krishna revealed that taste. Sometimes you have this realization certainly about your own self also, that I'm not this body. It is not just a theoretical thing. Krishna for a fraction of a second can give you that kind of awareness. Now not the realization but awareness that I'm not the body. नहीं समझ आ रहा है? This world is a place of suffering and all those things. Everybody is suffering. Not everybody is realizing that. So I'm just saying all those things get revealed to us like nothing belongs to me. Have you ever got that feeling sometimes? I'm in a foreign place. Have you ever felt like that? In a place where I am not belonging to. So I'm saying many realization a person gets by this special service of chanting and taking prasadam. So okay, so nice to be with all the devotees here. Anything else I'm not remembering? No, okay. So we'll discuss the shloka tomorrow, and homework must be done by students. Don't be in the Kalu Malu gang. 3.25, and 8.28. Yes. It has been given in the numbers also. 3.25 नहीं 3.25.25. आप नंबर चेंज कर देंगे तो कहेंगे प्रभु जी ये तो मिला ही नहीं. तो तीसरे अध्याय भागवतम के तीसरे अध्याय में 25,525वां श्लोक कौन सा है? ठीक है. 3.25.25 from Bhagavatam and 8.28. Really very nice. And I will ask you what context I had asked you to read these slokas. So tomorrow I'll grill the devotees. Okay, nicely. Please read it. And I may even ask those devotees whose video is off. Okay. Don't think by switching off the video you can actually escape from the person who's asking the question. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. I'm not that strict. Even if you don't read, still you will be not, you will remain tolerant. That's how I would say. You will remain tolerant. What can you say? Okay, there somebody is saying they will read it. Hare Krishna. Thank you.